Hi everybody, John here with SoCal Outdoor Adventure. It's a very windy day today. In today's video, we are going to be actually going to be doing a versus episode. This is the first versus episode that we've done for quite some time on this channel. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Reliance Outfitters French press versus the Stanley stainless steel French press system. Stick around, this is going to be a fun one. Alright my friends, so this right here is our versus episode of the Reliance Outfitters French press versus the Stanley brew stand. Now I bought the Stanley brew stand about 3 years ago and I started using it for a little while, but then I stopped. And there was a couple of things that I did not like about it, and so I decided to go with a different French press system, and that was the Reliance Outfitters coffee press. And I bought this one maybe about almost 2 years ago now, I think, if I am not mistaken. I could be wrong. So let's go ahead. I've done a full-on review of the Stanley, of both of these two products. So if you guys are interested in those videos, I'll leave a link down in the video description below for you guys to go ahead and click on the link to check out those two videos. Now, first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about the Stanley versus the Reliance Outfitters, and let's just go over the basics. So first and foremost, let's put this one off to the side for right now. The Stanley brew stand is what, according to what I hear online, 4.3 inches wide by 7.6 inches tall. It does hold about 32 ounces of liquid, of hot liquid and coffee. This will serve up to about 4 people. You do have a stainless steel pot with measurements on the inside, both in and outside the pot. Butterfly handles on this pot, and then you have this hard plastic inner along with a plastic lid on top. This is not I'm not sure. I think it's a polyurethane plastic, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see what I can find it. Let me see what I can find here. Here we go. This is dishwasher safe. So you can go ahead and put this guy in a dishwasher if you want to wash it in, and that's perfectly fine. It does have a mesh bottom, but the one thing about this one here is that it doesn't come apart. So you cannot take the mesh bottom off, wash it, and screw it back on, and then put it back into your pot. You literally have to take the whole thing out, rinse it out, or put it in a dishwasher in order to wash it. And so, same concept as the Reliance Outfitters. Press down coffee liquid. The press pushes down the beans or your grounds. Coffee's in this pot, and you can pour your coffee into your cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's done. But again, this one here only brews you up to 4 cups of coffee. Now, the Pathfinder French press that I have here. The Pathfinder French press has a capacity of 48 ounces, and it brews up to 6 cups of coffee. Has some very nice butterfly handles, 304 stainless steel, and the screen mesh along with the rest of the parts and the top of the lid here, these all come apart to make cleaning very easy and very simple. And that is something that I actually do like about this particular system. And again, 48 ounces, you can use this on both a fire as well as, you can use actually both pots on a fire or a stove, either one of the two. So that definitely would not be a problem right there. But the con, so, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, with these guys here, they're both great brewers. But which one of the two of them do I prefer? Let's talk about price. Price-wise, of the Reliance Outfitters coffee press, this is going for $32.95 on the Reliance Outfitters website. I'm sorry, I keep saying Stanley. That was my fault. But this is going for $32.95 on the Reliance Outfitters. And again, this is a 32-ounce French press coffee pot, and you can brew up to 6 cups of coffee. And if you ask me, that's pretty good. I mean, with this particular coffee pot, I can make 1 cup of coffee for myself, and then whatever's left over, I can put into a thermos and drink that for later, which I love. And that's pretty cool, especially with something like this. With the Stanley coffee pot, however, the Stanley only fits up to 32 ounces, so I get about, for if it's just me by myself and I use a tall mug, I get about 2 cups of coffee out of this one pot. But at least with this guy right here, with the Reliance Outfitters French press, I can put some coffee in a coffee pot, or even pour some for my wife, and then whatever's left over, I'll put directly into a insulated mug and save that for later to drink. Pros and cons of both of these ones. So first off, let's talk about the pros. Actually, wait a minute, we missed one part. My apologies. The pricing. So this particular coffee pot was available on Amazon for around $45. But I haven't seen this particular coffee pot on Amazon for quite a long time. I did find another website called Chicago Outfit that specializes in coffee machines. And currently right now they are selling this particular pot for 2 prices. There's 2 different price ranges. I'm not exactly sure what's the difference, but they look like they're both the same pot. One is selling right now for $45 even. The other one is selling for $97. I mean, that's a lot of money for a little 32-ounce Stanley. And some guy is selling this one right now on eBay for $120. And if you ask me, I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, Stanley has always been known to sell their products at a very decent price for people to get their hands on, so they can go out camping, get out for an adventure. But now I think they're kind of jacking up the prices, or it just depends on who is selling their product. So again, $32.99 versus $45 even. That's a big price difference. That's a $15 to $16 price difference for these 2 products right here. Pros and cons of these 2. First off, as far as weight is concerned, not that much. There's not really much of a weight difference. Again, this one holds 32 ounces of fluid. This one holds 48 ounces. Second, both pros, they both have butterfly handles, which makes it easy to grab on and off the pot. It's a French press, so you're always going to get very good tasting coffee depending on what type of coffee you get. The cons of this one, I would say that with the cons for this guy, there are a lot of small pieces that you do have to clean if you want to get a nice cup of coffee, but they very easily get put back together. This one doesn't have as many pieces, but it's dishwasher friendly. But if you're camping out in the outdoors, I mean, you have to wait till you get home to basically throw this in the dishwasher, unless you live full time in an RV and your RV has a dishwasher. The con that I would say is the most difficult with the Stanley versus the Reliance Outfitters is going to be the handles on the Stanley, because there was one time when I made a pot of coffee with the Stanley, and I grabbed it from here, and my hand actually, I felt a burn on my hand, so I had to pull it away really quick, and luckily I didn't tip over my coffee, so I put gloves on and I basically picked it up from the inside of the handles, and I was able to pull off the pot with gloves on. But if you have like thick gloves, it's very difficult to wear thick gloves and be able to pull this guy off the fire or even off a stove if it's hot. Or if you have like a rag, you can do it with a rag. It won't be a problem. With the Reliance Outfitters French press, on the other hand, this one's got very large butterfly handles, and I can literally fit my hand inside of it. And even with gloves on, I can still fit my hand inside the pot and still manage to take the coffee pot off of the fire without any problems. And I absolutely love that. So that is a huge win for the Reliance Outfitters versus the Stanley. So between these 2 products, which one am I more than likely going to be using for the rest of time now? I've used both of these guys at home, and I like using them at home, and they work very well when I'm at home base. But if I'm going to take them camping, I am definitely going to take with me more the Reliance Outfitters coffee pot, because this has a larger capacity, 48 ounces, can serve up to 6 people with coffee, whereas the Stanley French press is 32 ounces. So, I mean, you can only get up to 4 people. So, I may want to go ahead and just keep this one at home just to make coffee with at home every now and then if I want to. But I am mostly going to be sticking with the Reliance Outfitters French press to make coffee at camp. And this spot here, right here, is also perfect for car camping, for camping in a trailer or motorhome. Stanley is going to be mostly perfect for camping and if you have a trailer or a motorhome, but I don't recommend taking this if you're tent camping. I would recommend taking more the Reliance Outfitters pod versus the Stanley at any time, because I mean, you got this plastic. I mean, lucky for me, this hasn't melted at all, but still, I mean it's less to clean up, but at the same time it can be a little bit difficult depending on the coffee you ground. So I hope you guys enjoyed this versus episode of the Reliance Outfitters French press versus the Stanley Brew Stand French press. Again, $32.99 for Reliance Outfitters versus $45 to around $120 for the Stanley French press. Again, I bought these products with my own money. I am not sponsored by any of these companies to do this review, but either one of these two, if you want any one of these two, definitely check out the links to those websites if you're interested. If not, don't worry about it. It's up to you if you guys want to go ahead and purchase them. But honestly though, I prefer the Reliance Outfitters French press versus the Stanley. And sorry Stanley, but Reliance Outfitters wins. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now go outside, have an adventure. See you next time.